Hello neighbor, this is Curt with Etrailer, and today we're going to take a look at these Titan snow tire chains on our 2025 Chevy Silverado 2500 with the 245/75 R17 tires. Now, tire chains are really the best way to ensure that you're going to be able to drive through that ice and snow safely. It'll help you with the traction, and in the case of these, it's going to help you with some of that lateral movement and slipping as well. This is an assisted tensioning tire chain. Now there's three different tire chains really you can get. There's a manual tensioning, which means all of the adjustment is going to have to come from your strength alone. You can also, in fact, it's recommended that you also use one of these type of tensioners with it, which is going to hook on all around the edges. And in the case of these chains from Titan, one of the coolest things about it is how they kind of put these bright colors everywhere. A lot of times when you're putting on snow chains, you're going to be in some low light conditions. It's common during winter anyway, and being able to see where all of your connections are and where any adjustments might need to be made can be crucial. It's a nickel manganese alloy, so you're not really going to have to worry about any kind of rust or corrosion with them. They're going to be really resistant to that, so that's great because things like road salt, when there are icy conditions, can, really do some damage to a lot of different metals. One of the other great things about it is that it is what's called a square link. So the links aren't perfectly round. They've got some edges to them. That's really going to help bite into that ice and keep you from slipping. And the last thing I want to talk about is the design itself. So these are what they call a diamond pattern, and that just means that the links kind of come out like that in a diamond. We have the center link going around as well, and that's what's really going to help us out with that lateral side-to-side slipping. These are going to be great for forward and backward traction, but having that added bonus of not having to worry about it slip out to the side on you is also something that's going to give you a lot of peace of mind going down the road. The other type of design that you might see in tire chains is what they call a ladder pattern. Those go straight across the tire. Now, while those are excellent for that forward and backward traction, they don't do as much to avoid that sideways slipping. And the other great thing about this is that, again, you don't have to crawl up under here and get all messy in the snow really to get these on and get them adjusted. Any adjustments that you need to make are going to come from the front. The only thing that you're going to have to do as far as being underneath the car behind the tire is just feed it around. And I'm going to show you exactly how we got these on right now. Now when it comes to the installation, the first thing I want to do is lay my chains out for inspection. I am wearing gloves for this even though I'm indoors. A couple of reasons for that. One, there are some sharp edges to the tire chains that are going to help them bite through that ice and snow, so I don't want to get any cuts or pinches on my hands. And two, I honestly, whenever you're applying tire chains, if maybe you get these and you're trying them on for the first time, it's a good idea to have gloves on while you're doing it. It just makes good practice, because chances are if you have to put these on in the real world, it's not going to be very pleasant outside as far as the weather goes. So being able to do this with gloves on is a huge bonus, and it'll just give you that confidence when you have to do it out there on a snowy or icy road. But with that being said, I'm laying my tire chains out flat, and what I'm really looking for is any twists or kinks, just to make sure that we don't have any of that going on. Those are kind of things that could damage not only your chains but your tires as well if you have those on in the chain as you're going down the road. And as I'm doing that, I'm also separating these bottom portions here. I've got my tensioner on one end here at the bottom, and I've got the catch for it here on the other. The other thing that I'm doing is making sure that it's facing the correct way. So where it attaches to the cable here, this link has a loop end and it's got this open hook end. I want those open hooks facing down. That way, when I put the chains onto the tire itself, I can ensure that open hook end is facing away from the sidewall and it's not going to puncture it. Now what I want to do is make sure I keep this separation, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to feed one end of the chains around the back of the tire, just like this. I'm going to try to keep it away from the bottom of the tire so it doesn't catch up underneath it, and we just get that kind of smooth transition going around. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm also trying to make sure that I'm not twisting it up or anything like that as well. It can be a bit challenging when you have those icy conditions out on the road, but it's definitely doable. So with that end being around, I've got my tensioner end here. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the catch is around the front just like that. And again, don't have any kind of twists or anything like that to it. At this point, I'm going to do my best to kind of keep control of the chain here in the one hand. I'm going to do the same with this end back here. And I'm just going to try to drape as much of this over the tire as I can and make this catch up here at the top, just like so. Now I'm going to bring this around the front and again, try to just drape this around. Just making sure that nothing's getting twisted up or anything like that. Now up here at the top, I've got these 3 open links that I could use to hook this into. I'm going to go ahead and do this from the middle link, and we're going to see how this works. This is something that could be adjusted later on, and this is why I always suggest that once you get your tire chains, go ahead and try them on. That'll just make applying them on the tires that much easier and that much quicker for you when you're out there in the cold. You don't want to spend any extra time out there making adjustments than you have to. Once I do that, I'm just going to drape this over. I'm going to try to get this center portion of the chain over the center of the tire as best I can. So with it up and going around the tire, again, just making any kind of drape adjustments that I need to. Go ahead and give it a tug. Make sure that everything is coming off the back and up the front as best we can. We really don't want to be in a situation where we've got any of this yellow chain under the tire on the tread or anything like that. Now, as I bring it around the front, I could see that it's a little bit tight in the front here. I'm going to go ahead and go back up here to the top. So I backed it off and went to the end link right here. And now I feel a lot better about how this is draping around. As I bring these bottom portions around, the yellow chain is off of the tread and on the sidewalls all the way around. So this is a much better fit this way. So what I'm going to do now is here at the bottom, I've got this catch here. I'm just going to run this chain attached to my tensioner through that catch, just like that. And I can cinch it tight from there. Now what I'm going to do is just kind of bring it up, and I'm just checking to see, hey, do I have enough tension if I bring it up like this? And I'm kind of feeling like, no, not really. This is a lot looser than it should be. We should have some stretch to this, and again, just kind of pulling this around much tighter. So we do have these tensioning loops down here, these red loops. I'm going to go ahead and run my tensioner through that. And this is just going to pick up a lot of that slack that I was getting out of this so that we can make sure that we have a really good tight fit around the front. Now at this point, I could go ahead and just pull on this, make sure it's tighter against there. And while I can't really go straight across, I could still come up to this area here and hook it on. Now when I hook it on, I'm going to make sure that the open end of this hook is facing away from the sidewall, for the very same reasons that we were making sure that these links were facing away from that sidewall. But as I bring it up, go ahead and get some slack out of it. We're going to go ahead and hook it through one of these loops right here. Now as I do that, I've got much better tension here. Now here's the thing. Once we've got it on, it may feel like really good and tight as it is, but because we wrap this around the bottom of the tire, there's still going to be some adjustments to be made. There's still going to be some slack in it that we don't really see. So it's a good idea to go ahead and pull the vehicle up a few feet or back it up a few feet. What we want to make sure of is that we're getting this portion off of the bottom of the tire, off of the ground. I can almost guarantee you that you're going to be able to tighten it and cinch it up a little bit more after that. And that's really it for the installation. We didn't have to get underneath the car and make manual adjustments, making it tighter here and there. All of the tensioning is going to come through this area right here. We do need to roll it forward and back, like I said, just to make sure that we've got it cinched up completely all around the entire tire. But compared to a manual tensioning tire chain, this is a much, much easier solution. And if you've got any questions about these tire chains or about the installation, Go ahead and leave that question in the comments below. We'd love to get back to you about that. Make sure you're getting the right thing and putting them on correctly. Plus, that knowledge, sharing that with other neighbors just like you, can help them make the best decision for themselves. Once again, this is Curt with Etrailer. Thanks for stopping by.